everyone, my name is Hadel-Lynn. I just moved out here 2 months ago from sunny San Diego, and now I'm here in beautiful Boston. I'm going to share with you the 6 things that I've learned living out here. Let's get started. The tea is a magical thing. This is empty, by the way. What is the tea that you are talking about? Basically, the tea is formerly known as the MBTA system, where it's a collection of all the commuter rails, subways, and buses. Am I missing anything else? Yeah, I think that's the main things that pretty much are throughout all of Boston. You don't need a car living out here, I will tell you that. With this Charlie card, I'm covering the identification for a reason. I am able to go unlimited wherever I want to go for just $90 a month throughout majority of Boston. I think it's just primarily because of COVID, but right now taking the tea to work, it's been pretty clean and pretty safe. There haven't really been a lot of people taking the tea just because, again, with COVID, people are scared to, be in public areas, which I completely understand. There's hand sanitizers pretty much at every single stop from what I remember, so they're, doing their best. And you are mandated to wear a mask while you're in there. Does everyone do it? No. But, it's a mandate. Fun fact. Park Street itself is historic because it is the first subway line ever in the US. And I think it's really cool that I'm literally commuting on a piece of history all the time. This message is directly for my Filipino people. As a Filipino person, there is barely any choices out here in Boston. My mom actually prepared and froze sinigang and chicken adobo just because she knows there's barely any Filipino food out here. There is no Jollibee. There is no Chowking. There is no Seafood City. So unless you're living out in Quincy, where that's, from what I understand, one of the few Filipino markets out here in just Massachusetts in general, that's the closest one, about an hour commute if I just take the T plus the bus. Be Filipino and move out here to Boston, definitely stock up because it's going to be a rough one. The good news is there are a bunch of Asian markets. There's H Mart, there's a C Mart. I did not know a C Mart existed. I don't want to mispronounce this, but I'm really sorry if I do. Marucci, Brookline, and there's a ton more options. So you don't have to worry about having no Asian options for food whatsoever. However, the options for Filipino food specifically it's pretty limited. The next thing I want to talk about is the Boston accent. Moving out here in the past 2 months, I've actually barely have heard the Boston accent. The people that I've heard the Boston accent from are from people who are a little bit older or who literally don't live in Boston, who live just further out from Boston. From what I understand, less and less people have been picking up on the accent, unless you live further out, like in the suburb, or if you're down in Southie. That's, from what I understand, Southie is pretty prominent still with the accent. And I was really shocked to not really hear a lot of people hear the accent because it's just a common thing that you always hear about for Boston. The next thing I want to talk about is the filming locations for Boston. I was really surprised that Boston has a lot of movies going on out here. Let me just show you this clip real quick. Fact about that clip, I was walking home from work. Mom and we had passed by along Devonshire Street. Something was going on over there. So we kind of looked around. We saw it in the morning too, but on the way home, it was kind of more prominent that there were more people there. It was actually the filming site for the new movie Don't Look Up for Netflix, featuring Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. And I just think that's honestly really cool that I literally passed by a filming site. From what I understand, the film is supposed to be based off of New York. I could be wrong. And I was really surprised to learn that a lot of New York-based films can be filmed in Boston, just because how New York City is a little bit on the packed side, and I guess Boston is not as much, and it's easier to make it look like New York City with bringing in, yellow cabs, You know, I'm from California. You know, I've been living out in California since 2007. And the fact that I've literally passed by more filming sites here in Boston in the past 2 months than I have in my term of California is just pretty ironic to me. Now for the next thing. Layers and lotion. These are the things that you will need, that you should stock up on if you're gonna move out here to Boston, especially in the winter. Show you something just to prove to you how important layers are here. I have one drawer for layers for my pants, and I have one drawer of layers for my shirt. On the right side, those are my shorts. But anyways, these are like for my shirts. My San Diego butt has not lived in any form of winter conditions since I was a little kid. So it has been a big readjustment period. I don't know if you can see like here. Here, let me bring it closer. I don't know if you can see right here, but it's kind of crusted up. I know, gross. But let me tell you the story behind it. When you are here in the winter, you know, things get dry. Your skin is more likely to dry up and crack. Now for me, my horror story is that this section here of my skin literally cracked open to the point I could see the fleshy parts. It cracked open because it became so dry out here, and thank goodness I was able to fix it with a bunch of lotion and steroid cream. But yeah, that's a lesson I'm not gonna try and relearn. Bring a lot of lotion. Lotion is so important, especially when it's winter, because things get dry, things get cold, and you just want to make sure that your skin is very well taken care of. Finally, the last thing I've learned so far here in Boston is that Boston is a very walkable city. Those clips in the beginning that I showed you, surprise, surprise, I was walking a good chunk of the time. You know, the one really big thing about being in COVID is that you can't really do a lot of stuff. But the good thing about Boston is that you can walk around and explore new things everywhere. I've been so surprised with how many open gardens, open parks that there are to explore, like the Boston Public Garden. That's a really gorgeous place to just walk around for a long time and, you know, get your exercise in, you know, get some fresh air, all of course while wearing a mask and being socially distant. Those things don't stop just because you want to be outside. Cool things that I found while walking around is there's a Harry Potter store just right nearby me. There's actually 2 Harry Potter stores here in Boston. One of them is out in Cambridge and one is out in Back Bay. So you should definitely take a look at those. It's really cute and they're really small. And yes, I spent money there. The other things that I've learned about just walking around is just like how beautiful brownstones are. It's a big thing here on the East Coast. I'll probably talk about it later on. Let me know in the comments below if you like this video or not, or if there's anything you want to get to know a little bit more about here in Boston. And just make sure to like and subscribe.